Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me back again. We're streaming some more War Thunder because, well, I'm bored and I want to talk shit for a little while. So, oh my god, my model is not doing too good. It's spamming out in every possible direction. So, I need to, like, test drive the Ocelots because I genuinely don't know how to use it. So, I know how to use it on my PlayStation, but not on my PC. So, let's try and figure out how the hell to use this thing. And maybe even some bind some controls and stuff like that, because, yeah. Okay. Maybe I do know how to use it. Lead it, lead it, lead it. There we go. Okay, I figured out how to use the vehicle. Let's try some German top tier. Oh, I clicked that one. Let's try our hands at some German top tier just to see how things are going up in the top tiers. Probably not that good, but, you know, usual stuff in it. Come on. Yo, Rage, what is up, my G? We're doing top tier today. Because, well, why the bloody hell not? I just realised I need to upload all my VODs. I completely forgot to do that. Ah, big brain me. Oh, you're trying to get in the editing mood. If I want to try and get into the editing mood, I just watch, like, the Russian Badger or, like, one of my favourite, like, YouTubers. That gets me into the mood to edit for some reason. Don't know why, but, like, it does. Yeah, oh, by the way. And also, I got on some, I got an editing job from RC, so that's fun. Oh, you just start focusing instead. For me, it's weird. Like, sometimes I'll just watch, like, someone else's video and think, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Or, like, what was the other thing I'm gonna do? Dual screen is a blessing and a curse, yeah. I kind of wish I had 3 monitors, can't lie. Like, if I had 3 monitors, I'd put one on top just, like, to put my YouTubing stuff. I have another one for Discord, and then obviously the one for the game. Maybe even 4, actually, would do. And especially for editing as well. It's like, I've got my timeline on one, I've got my thing on the other, files on one, another screen for files, another screen for Discord. I think 4 is the way to go. Uh-oh. I'm in a vehicle that can't kill anything. Ha! Intelligence, let's go! Oh shit. Yes, that vehicle's called the clickbait. Okay, hopefully someone gets it. The M1A1 clickbait is a American tank designed to look like a Russian tank. It's used for training purposes, but I think now they actually have some Russian tanks. Yo, what's up? at this Bartley. How's it fucking going? Oh shit, I just realised I'm looking at my stream thing and it needs to move the chat up again. Because I had it from the Forza. Yeah. Okay. Is it working? I think it's working. Hopefully it is. If it's not... Wait, was that a plane that was in the sky? Please tell me there's a plane. Right as I died as the Ocelot. Oh, I still have enough points for the Ocelot. Okay. Let's show these guys the power of tandem warheads. Oh, it's going fucking fine? Hell yeah, let's fucking go, brother. Everything, if your life is going pretty fucking fine, I've got to say that's pretty fucking good. I love swearing. Swearing just like is the best. Is that one of our... Yeah, we have a BMP, okay. I thought that was an enemy BMP for a sec. I'm gonna help the BMP. Like it when teammates say thank you. That's cool. Oh look, it's my corpse of my former self. Big Sag. I've run out of things to say. Shit. This is not good. It's late at night. It's not really late. It's 9. It's 9:30. I guess it is kind of late to be streaming. Oh well, hopefully the energy drinks kick in. Oh my god, I just went through every vocal range I have. Those are some bad bomb tosses from them. Oh, cock. B. There we go. Okay. I can't really drag my decrepit carcass around with me now that the HSTVL was kind of just giving me a lesson in armor-piercing rounds. It took 3 to kill me because I've got no armor. Go ahead, suggest me something. If I have to pay for it, it's going to be a no. Right, where is the plane? I just heard the plane. Oh. Oh my god, there's too many trees in the way. Now there's a hill in the way. That's not the same plane, is it? Where the fuck has it gone? Come on. Hit him. Why have you gone the complete wrong direction? Come on, missile. Do your job. At removing things from the sky. I don't think it did its job. Sag. Why doesn't the missile just missile for? Why does it have to miss? Oh shit, new target. Where'd that plane go? I saw the plane. Where's it gone? Oh, yeah, true, actually. It is in the name. Missile. Me when the missile misses. Oh, the SU-39's on our side. Where the hell is this plane gone? This one... Oh yeah, it's a Russian tank. It doesn't make nice noises. Compared to my wonderful NATO-designed vehicle, makes a fabulous noise. When... Oh shit, it's the HSTVL. Oh, Zooey mama. Ah, fuck. Why is it always, when I die, like, the tank that killed me gets killed immediately after? Why can't it just never be killed before I died? It's always sad. Come on, let's go. Right on the head. Ah. Oh no, this is a problem. I'm getting a headache. Okay, hopefully this headache, like, just goes away. We drift. We ball. Live my life always backing down. Bruh. Out of the way, dead carcass. I'm trying to get to the objective. God, people are so inconsiderate when they die. They die right in the middle of the street and blocking my entrance into a perfectly good capture zone. And then I don't get the points for the capture zone. How insensitive of them. God, some people. It's like, oh, cry me a fucking river, will ya? Fuck you and your Abrams. I'm going back there. That Abrams is getting something shoved up his rear end. And it's not an APFSDS round. It's like a bit more harder than that. My God. Another dead carcass of mine. I'm gonna fucking Tokyo drift through these streets. Oh shit. The Jaguar, I don't have the Jaguar, no. I'm not high enough level for it. Well, I'm high enough level, no. I've been trying to get it for like years now. I've been playing War Thunder for like 4 years. Still haven't gotten like supersonic jets other than the fucking, what's it called? AJ-37. That's the only somewhat modern plane I have. Whatever your second plane is. Oh, that. Yeah, that's the nuke. That's the one that drops the nuke. So if you get 2,500 spawn points, yeah, it's just, I think it's the Jaguar A. Yeah, it's the Jaguar A for Germany. If you get 2,500 points, you can unlock the nuke. And the nuke is also on the Jaguar, so then you would fly the nuke in, and then drop it and you win the game. Uh, the nuke radius is the entire map. It's like an insta-win, basically. Okay, I guess we're just rushing their spawn now. Everybody's getting into the action. I can't fucking see anybody. We won, huzzah. Wow, that was so entertaining. I love top tier battles. I fucking hate top tier battles. That was like the one top tier battle where I think I've actually managed to get one kill. Top tier is just a mess, like, honestly. That's why I prefer playing 5-3/5-7/6-7. I'm going to play some 6-7 now. I'm going to bring also the Sturmtiger. Actually, I'm going to keep the Jagdpanther. Let's see how that goes. If I want to meme in the next game, I will meme on them. Ah. I hate this town, it's so washed up, and all my friends don't give a fuck. They'll tell me that it's just bad luck. Find where I fit in. I hate this town. We'll go Jagdpanther. Okay, YouTube, I don't need more notifications, thank you. This is the Jagdpanther, it's like one of my favourite tanks. I like it because it's just so goofy. There's so many things wrong with it, but like, it's so good. It's my goofy little thing. I've seen two of them in real life. There's one at Duxford Air Museum and then one obviously at the Tank Museum. And honestly, it's so fucking cool. Good. It's got the barrel of the Tiger 2, and then it's built on the chassis of the Panther. It has like no reverse gear. At the time these were being used, Germany's air force was like non-existent. So the only way these things would travel is they would travel at night time in the dark with probably no lights on as well. They would go hide in the forest till daytime, then wait for the allies to come around, and they'll ambush them, kill one, basically drive off. The success rate of these things, I don't know how much, but like, I think it's cool. The one at the Tank Museum in Bovington is actually a I believe that one's actually like a post-war version, because when the British, oh shit, when the British got to Germany, they came across one of the factories that made Panther tanks. They basically got themselves made a Panther and a Jagd Panther, and they used it for testing purposes. Not really if they were camouflaged well. I mean, they were huge vehicles, but because they were ambushed they were set up for ambushing, so they were quite well hidden. I mean, obviously my one's quite well. Oh my god, fuck you. Siri, I didn't mean to talk to you just then. My Apple Watch was just like, hey, I'm gonna get involved in this conversation. It's like, no, didn't ask for that. As far as I'm aware, I'm not sure if they were that obvious, but then again, the Germans were quite good at ambushing, so because they were using defense in depth, so German ambushes were quite frequent, and they were quite good. Especially towards the later half of when, you know, the Soviets are coming around. Because the Germans were pretty good at knocking out T-34s, but the problem is there were so many of them that, like, no matter how good your tank was, if there's too many of them, there's too many of them. It's like, you can have the best sniper rifle in the world, but if a horde of people are charging at you with bayonets, how good is that sniper rifle gonna actually be? You may as well just be using a flintlock at that point. And because it was built on the Panther chassis, reverse gear was terrible, side armor was like non-existent. Used on the front lines, yeah, because obviously for most of since 1943, the Germans have been on the retreat from obviously pretty much close to where Moscow was to all the way to Germany. These things would get deployed to the front lines and wait in ambushes. It was kind of desperation, and that's also, if you look at from the tanks from 1943-ish, 1942, 1943 onwards, you see Germans went from these tiny little tanks to suddenly these big, bulky machines because they needed all this armor and all this weaponry to push against the Soviet machines, which are like KV-1s of the time. Wait, are we on fire? Oh no, please don't make it hit from the side. Because I can only aim forward. Stop shooting me, you disabled fuckwit! Oh my god, your parents do not love you! It wasn't really like they thought it was bad. It wasn't really like that. It was just bad engineering, and also because they kind of needed a tank desperately. They kind of just like, oh well, we'll fix it later. I think the Panther II prototype actually had a decent reverse gear. The thing is though, this one had a really good reverse gear, but the idea was we're gonna push forward and that's it. But like, same with French tanks having amazing reverse gears. Or it depends. It's kind of what people say, what people don't say. If you look at, I think the Tank Museum, they had a really good video on it as well. If you really want to go into that, they made some pretty solid videos on that. But I think the reverse gear was just a small problem, and just in general, the German tanks were unreliable. So like a lot of tanks would just sit in the same position because they just couldn't move anyways. In fact, some of them were just blown up. In fact, there was a Jagd Tiger, which is the Tiger II but made into a tank destroyer, which was captured by the British or the Americans. It's one of the two. that had actually broken down on the way to where they were going, and they just happened to come across it, and they started fighting it, and they knocked it out properly. No, because they'll just ditch it. Besides, like, the last place you'd expect to get... I don't know why they never actually... That's a good point. Rear armor. But if a tank was getting surrounded, that wasn't already a good situation. Most of the time your armor would be in the front anyway, because most tank combat isn't actually, like, what we play in War Thunder. Tank combat is extremely different to what people think it is. Because it's more of a, like, don't get spotted kind of game. So, like, if you're spotted, you're fucked. That's how tank combat actually works. And armor is more of a last resort. In fact, most tanks, like, in actual situations, we see why loads of tanks have machine guns, is because there would actually be more infantry support stuff. So, like, in most attacks and stuff, what would happen is tanks would actually go along with infantry and mechanized infantry to fight, and the tanks would be used as kind of like close range artillery, if that. Close range support, kind of like CAS, but instead of tanks. So if it comes to the point where your tank is being shot at, not by infantry, but by like an actual tank, it's kind of a messed up situation already. Yeah. And also, one thing that was underestimated was the reload speed. So if you see how, like, guns have gotten bigger over the years, for example, now we're using, in NATO, we are using 120mm tank guns. Nowadays, back in the, Second World War, the Germans also had the 88. It could be reloaded roughly about 5 to 6 seconds. So like, the more rounds you can put down range before you have to like disappear is another factor as well. But also in the early 20s and 30s and early 40s, a lot of tanks were actually using small guns, kind of like 30mm, 50mm cannons, auto cannons and stuff. It's more about putting the tank. But obviously after World War II, tank combat eventually evolved to what we know as it is now. So there's like a lot of like factors when it brings into the conversation of why don't we do rear armor. I mean, yeah, theoretically it's a good idea, but in practice it wouldn't really make sense. So the more effective solution is give it a bigger gun because it can kill the thing quicker, and then hide. Kind of like actual fighting. Like actual warfare, like it's not how we see it in like COD and things. It's not like that at all. Like, look, I'm about to do some real tank combat here. So look, he doesn't know I'm here, and now 3, 2, 1. See, that's what real tank combat would have been like. Obviously, I should have moved after I shot, but... This is... Oh, no! That is what real tank combat would have probably looked like. Ambush, boom, and then I'll see a small firefight would ensue, and then boom, everybody's dead, crying on the floor, bodies everywhere. That sort of stuff. It's... And also the armor is kind of like in the 40s there was a huge huge race between armor and what's that thing called? The gun, the size of the penetration of the gun. So that's why you see in the 40s, if you look at tanks starting out in the 40s and the end of the 40s, we see tanks that suddenly have 100 like above 75mm cannons, thick armor and stuff like that. Because obviously what would happen is one side would come out with a new tank that had better armor, so the other side would come out with tank that had a better gun, but they find out that tank that has a better gun can't take a shot, so they have to upgrade the armor, and then it just keeps happening. Then they realize, oh shit, the suspension is going to collapse. New suspension system, chuck that in. New engine, chuck that in, until eventually shit ends. Tank development was quite interesting. Then you have the fucking British mounting the 17-pounder cannon into a tank, realizing that it can't fit. They cut a hole in the back of the tank. Then they're like, oh no, the engine doesn't work. They take 4 car engines, weld them together. And also the whole bigger gun thing is kind of where the whole thing of a tank destroyer comes from. Because the whole point of the tank destroyer... Was that because they took bigger guns equals bigger guns to... but better guns to far? What? Yeah, reword that question please. I did not understand that at all. Eventually, I think what you're trying to say is there was a limit to how big guns can get. Like, yeah, I think, like, because of the technology, the biggest guns that were mounted to tanks at the end of the Second World War was what the Mouse had here. Yeah, this is a real tank, by the way, which is the 128mm KWK-44. Very, very big tank cannon. And eventually, it just became eventually after a point, it becomes impractical to suddenly have this huge gun, and then for it to also take metric years to reload. Also, nowadays we have the 120mm cannons with our main battle tanks of NATO and stuff like that, but that's a different theme because that's like technology. Now we have autoloaders. Not a lot of NATO countries still don't use autoloaders. Russian tanks do use autoloaders. It's weird. Also, South Korean and Japanese tanks use autoloaders, but same with Chinese tanks as well. It's weird. Arms development is weird. Because, like, I don't understand why we don't use autoloaders. But then, like, we have tanks that use autoloaders, but, like, some that don't. And it's like, we don't have to pay a loader to do that. But then, also, if the autoloader goes wrong in the middle of the fight, that's not too good either. So it's like... And then NATO's just like, well, if we just... Exactly, yes. Actually, there was a double-barrel tank. There was a double-barrel tank. Let me just bring my fucking Google over here. I can show you the double-barrel tank. I keep forgetting what it's called. Ah, it's the VT tank. Here we go. Yeah, this thing. This was a real design. This is also in War Thunder as well. It was a prototype. It did not fucking work. But it was kind of funny because I don't know why. This is one of the versions. There we go. Here's the version that's in War Thunder. So this has got 2 Leopard cannons on it. I think it's the... Shut up. Yeah. It probably worked. Who knows? But I think it's just a shitpost. Quite like literally in real life, just a shitpost. This is not real. This is just a model. And then this is Photoshop. Yeah, this is clearly Photoshop. This is like one of those things that they put in like, dude, the most powerful army in the world, and it's got this thing. Like, double barrel tanks, like, they are real. Yeah, it did look more like an AA there. I'm just looking at. I just completely forgot how ridiculous this is. This thing was one of the first like German tanks to be built. It was yeah. This is the one of the first like German when obviously the Yazidis came into power. They developed this. I think it was those Germans are the ones before they developed this thing because in the 20s and 30s the thing was like multi-turreted tanks. So it would like have a one turret for a machine gun, another turret for a machine gun, and then a big one for your howitzer slash big cannon. And the ideas did not work because when the Russian here we go no. So the Ruskies invaded a little country known as Finland with this thing, the T-28. So obviously the Ruskies used these things in the invasion. Oh shit! It's got that. Damn it. Okay. Please don't ban me Twitch for accidentally showing the Finnish version of that symbol, but the Russians invaded with these multi-turreted tanks called T-28s, and they were horrendously bad. And the problem, especially with here we go. Here's a better picture. The problem, especially with these multi-turreted tanks, was coordination between the turrets, because one turret would be firing in one direction, another one would be firing in the other, and it would just become a complete horrible mess. The Finnish actually managed to capture a few of these things in World War II. They also captured quite a lot of Russian equipment. I think the primary occupation of a Finland soldier in World War II was just theft. So yeah. But multi-turreted tanks, they were the thing. There's another one, the British made one, called the Independent. I don't know how many crew was in that thing, but this thing, the Independent, this was made just after World War One. I think it probably would have had quite a few in there, can't lie. Let's have a look. Oh, is this the Time Museum website? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh double shit. They've got the symbol. That's not good. Oh shit, it's the symbol again. Oh god, please don't ban me Twitch. I'm just looking at a website trying to read. Oh god, please don't tell me I've just been taken off stream. Oh god, there it is again. Yeah, I think it would probably be like 5 or 6. Okay, few. Yeah, the armor was shit. It's only like 15mm of armor, and I think this is one that's actually been... Yeah, anti-tank rifle makes sense. My head hurts. Oh. It was 6. 6 crew members, which is surprisingly... Actually not that bad. Even though there's 5 in this picture, there's probably 1 off to the side, like here. But yeah, 6 crew members for the NBFZ. And also, the British had this thing. I think this one actually had like... I have this one in Warfare. I could probably show you it in a minute. It has quite a few. It was quite bad. Oh, it's this guy. He makes the videos about it for the Tank Museum. He's quite good. The Tank Museum has some really good videos on these sort of things. Because funny enough, they're a museum dedicated to tanks. I'm trying to think of more multi-turreted tanks. T-28. What the fuck? Oh, this is I think this is the American thingy with like 250 cals. Yeah. In fact, actually, some of the original tanks from World War One were technically, in quotation marks, multi-turreted because they would have one turret here and one on the other side. Obviously, this design is not good at all, but ayo. And then obviously the driving view here. Obviously, the problem is it can't aim behind itself if needed. Oh, that's a drawing. Oh boy, the SMK. Oh god, I think this was another one of just corruption making a tank happen, if I remember correctly. off the top of my head, but it's a KV. It's an extended KV1 with a KV1 turret, but bigger, and then another KV1 turret here. It just did not work. The first Crusader actually I forgot was actually also multi-turreted. It had a machine gun turret and then the 2-pounder turret. The next one after this, the Crusader 3, there's also the 2-pounder version of this as well, is also single turreted. The Crusader has got to be like another one of my favorite tanks. It's just so cool. That's one of the tanks that's not real. That's the Independent. I feel like I'm missing another very iconic multi-turreted tank. I'm missing one. I feel I'm definitely missing a multi-turreted tank of some kind. The T-35 is the same thing as the T-20. I think it's just like a slightly updated version of it. Yeah, it's the slightly updated one with one BT-7 turret on the front and a machine gun turret. I'm definitely missing something. I feel like. I believe they did. It wouldn't surprise me if the Americans had multi-turreted tanks. Yeah, actually, you can make the argument the M3. Yes, that's what I was thinking. The M3 Lee. The M3 Lee was multi-turreted because, well, yeah, one, technically multi-turreted, if you could say. It's the... The multi-turreted tank was a very silly idea, basically. It was once again, people being like, oh, tank warfare is going to be like World War I again, trenches. Like, yes and no. It's not going to be like that. Warfare evolves a lot. The M3 Lee, though, was like probably the most successful. That low one's like a light AA. Which one? Well, the M3 Lee, this thing was actually probably the most successful version of a... the most successful version of an actual multi-turreted tank. It has the 75mm on the side here, and it has a 37mm on the top, and it had a bunch of 50 cals, and it was a good tank. Because it was cheap to, I think it was cheap to build. Also, it was riveted to bits, and basically, it was just something the Americans could just chuck out of there while they were still developing the M4 Sherman. It was used quite a bit. There's still there's still some of them left in some places around the world. The M3 Lee, and then once the British got their hands on the M3 Lee, they made it better because they made the M3 Grant. There was 2 gunners and 2 loaders, so it had like 7 crew members. It was used with infantry primarily. So we have this is the M3 Grant. This is actually, here's a good picture of it. This is the one in the tank museum. So the M3 Grant was an improved version of the M3 Lee because the M3 Lee was amazingly tall. The machine gunner was not a thing. I think it was they had a machine gunner in there, but there was also a machine gun mounted with in the turret next to the main guns, the 37mm. The M3 Lee, this is the M3 Grant version. It's a slightly improved version. They managed to remove 1 crew member from it by moving the radio from like down here to the back of the turret, and they chopped the commander's cupola off, brought it down, and made it actually a little bit smaller. So if you were to stand the M3 Lee, oh, perfect. So if we look at the M3, this is the Lee and this is the Grant. So also the turret is smaller on this one. Is actually more curved as well. So yeah, actually that's quite cool. But it had its downfalls of basically the rivets exploding if it got hit. So like, not only would you be hit, you also have the rivets flying around the crew compartment. Sorry. This is the M3 Lee. Also, it has the 30 cal on top as well. They use these a lot in Africa actually, which was quite. Obviously, like, look at this one. This one's got the Africa camouflage. But then obviously the M4 Shermans arrived, and it kind of they phased these out, I believe. They still probably were using them until the end of World War II, but This was another. This was actually probably the most successful turreted tank, multi-turreted tank, which got replaced by the M4 Sherman. I didn't mean to do that. Boom. Obviously, you can see this thing is much better than the M3 Lee because it's not fucking riveted together. It's welded, so it won't. When it blows up, you won't get rivets flying around everywhere. I actually saw that somebody there was there's a non-riveted version of the M3 Lee somewhere. I know for a fact because I have a picture of it on my phone. As like one of my favorite pictures. Yeah, here we go. This is the non-riveted version of the M3 Lee. It just looks cursed. Oh, there's this thing as well. I'm not sure what that is, but like, yeah. They ended up also, another thing, they actually turned a lot of M3 Lees into howitzers. So there is the Priest, it was called. Yeah, it was called the M7 Priest. So basically just chop the top off and put a howitzer in the middle. So a self-propelled howitzer. Which is pretty cool. There was a vehicle that the British had as well called the Universal Gun Carrier, which was a very funny vehicle. So this thing was probably like it was technically one of like the first like APC/IFV kind of things. So it's kind of a funny little thing because it had like people say it had the like maneuverability of like a light car. So it was kind of like a little mini running around the battlefield, and also it was. I think it was also called like the Bren gun carrier. Yeah, the Bren gun carrier. So they'll have a Bren gun in here, and they'd use this to just like drop off supplies and soldiers to a certain position. Like here's a good picture of them. Look how many of the boys can fit in that, and then they drive it around and stuff like that. It's a weaponized. Yeah, it literally is just a weaponized taxi. It was a very cool little vehicle. I would say let's have this in War Thunder, but like it wouldn't do shit because it's just got a Bren gun on it. But it's a very cool vehicle, in my opinion. I'm just trying to think of all the funky little. There's so many funky vehicles in World War II. There's the M2 Locust as well. No, M22 Locust. The M22 Locust was such another funny little vehicle as well. Because the whole purpose of this was to fit inside a plane. So they made it this small. Yeah, here we go. It was made small to fit inside a plane. They'll fix the turret on. The plane would land. They'd be able to drive this out. And there was actually a case of one of these fighting a Panther. Whether it won, I did not know. But like rumors, or maybe if it was true. But apparently it fought a Panther tank in World War II. So it worked. Keep in mind. This thing had a 37mm cannon in 1944. Yeah, they did. It was used on D-Day. They used it. They airdropped it on D-Day, if I remember correctly. No, it would be in a glider like this. Then once the glider would land, the crew would get in and drive out, kind of like this. The Allies. Here we go. The Allies would use a lot of these things to land airborne troops mostly, and I think engineers and scouts on like a couple of hours before D-Day actually happened to sabotage mostly. There was a good documentary about these guys that they were the ones who landed before D-Day. Also, there was this thing as well, the Tetrarch as well. Oh no, I think the Tetrarch was the one that actually fought the Panther. It was the Tetrarch, which is I think it had like a miniature 6-pounder on it as well. It was quite a funky little vehicle. Yeah, but like cover is cover. Well, it'll be concealment technically, but these things they didn't have engines. They were just gliding and crash. Basically, that was the whole point of them. They were disposable. Remember there was this I can't remember what they were called now. It was these series of German tanks that they were planning to build in the German E series. So there was prototypes in the work. I say prototypes. There were designs that were drawn up for these E series tanks. They were called, and basically they were like standardized super heavy tanks. Basically, so I'll say Tiger 1, Tiger 2, E75, and E100. These are the 175 standing for how much it would weigh. So 75 tons, 100 tons, and these things were quite interesting. So they had the Buffle, which I didn't actually just finding out about this, and also the E50, which was going to be the next like Panther. Then they had this thing, which is the E10. This is a 3D rendition of it. Here we go. This is a better one. It's kind of inspired by the Hetzer. There was also this one as well. But obviously, before they even got to build these things, they were also, the Yahtzees kind of lost. So yeah, that happened. There was this thing as well, the German Jagdpanzer E100. They were meant to be like these super tanks that were like standardized. So a lot of the German tanks weren't standardized, so they did not share parts of each other. But tanks like the Sherman and a lot of our tanks were standardized, so they shared parts of each other. So you could take a part of a Sherman, put it onto a different Sherman, that sort of thing, depending on variant. But you get the idea, right? It was Germany's idea to try and standardize tanks. They were called like super. It was basically the Wunderwaffe kind of thing. They were called in super. When they mean super heavy, it means like they were just genuinely super fucking heavy. Like yeah, like the Mouse tank weighs literally 188 tons. That was like the first and only super heavy tank, and there was only 2 of them ever made, and one of them is in Russia, and the other one, in fact, the only one is in Russia, and it's like it's the turret from one of them and the hull from the other, because those parts both got damaged, and the way they got destroyed was through a plane bombing them. So not very good. Yeah, I'll show you. Oh shit! It's that fucking. I keep forgetting there's a book called Mouse. But yeah, this is the Mouse. It's a very tank. It was absolutely massive, and it was so big it was able to be spotted by plane. This is a man comparing to the size of it. He's not even at like the height of the tracks. Imagine having to replace the tracks on this thing though, because this is all solid. Normally, these things would be able to come off. That's a T-34. Not a Tiger. Oh my god. This was also in Gauss and Panzer. This is roughly what the size comparison of them would be to... Also, these are like 1 to something ratio models. But yeah, it's absolutely massive. I just look at this and just think, why? But then again, I remember what side used these things. Here's one of them being blown, where it was blown up. Kind of interesting, actually. It kind of, I think at the end of the war, the drugs must have been getting into their heads at that point, because it just, nothing they made worked. They also prototyped, they also tried to make, they were planning to make this, but even I think Funny Mustache Man thought even that was a bit too ridiculous. It was a battleship turret on a tank, and it had its own AA as well, and turrets facing backwards. Imagine trying to aim down with that. It just wouldn't work. You're better off just putting said turret just on the floor as like a stationary defense at that point. It's just not it. It's not it, bruv. And besides, even if this thing would have been used, it would have been bombed. And then they wanted to make The amount of wacky shit the Germans tried to make in World War II was actually insane. Like seriously, the stuff that they were trying to make just didn't make sense. Like, what the fuck is this? What is that? I believe this was a Soviet design. They tried to make a legitimate flying tank. This is a 3D. This is definitely edited. This was actually a British thing, if I remember correctly. Yes, this was a British design. The praying mantis, it was called. It would be some guy like lying down in here, and then with like periscopes or something, there was like it would aim up and shoot down onto a top of an enemy. No way, wacky stuff. Obviously, the German stuff made stuff like one of the first jet planes, but also the British made them. So, big up England, big up England. There was this thing. Don't know what that was. You could really. Oh yeah, the bent barrel thing for urban warfare. Didn't work. There was another one that actually made someone sense. One that made kind of a bit of sense was this thing. This is two Heinkel 111s welded together with another engine in the middle. The reason why, it was meant to pull a massive glider, but yeah, it was a bit too ridiculous even for like. It worked, which was the funny part, but like, it was a bit wild. And to be fair, the Germans weren't the only ones welding planes together. They did it twice, and it worked. There was the BF-109Z or Z. Then the Americans caught onto this idea, and they thought about the F-82 twin Mustang. I'm not sure if it ever got used, but like, yeah, that was a thing. And I believe there was one version with like a bigger cannon because it's in War Thunder. So yeah, if you go down the American tech tree, make sure to go down the left side because you can get this thing, and you can get the one with the 1450 cal. So you can basically just use a fucking laser on people. Then the Americans made this thing, the P-59. And the funny thing is, they got the pilots to wear a gorilla costume, so the people who were flying around thought it was thing. The small planes weld together. The small planes were just welded together, and they didn't carry anything. It was just this was just a fighter. Like, I think both the sides controls were also like the same, or like one of them was like one-sided. I don't even know how it works, but the one, I think there was, I don't even know how to explain it. I think they were sniffing too much magical powders. That's the only way I can describe why this thing exists. Although I'd like to talk about the P-61 Black Widow though. This thing, I love this thing. It's so cool. I don't think I've been able to see one in real life, which annoys me a bit. But this is it's called a night fighter because it was one of the first planes to have a radar in its nose, and they're fun enough to use it at night time to fight the Germans when they were coming over towards Britain. So it also has quad 50 cals in its turret. It was pretty cool. Let's just say that. I find it quite cool, at least. It was one of my favourite planes for a long time. I think I have this in War Thunder, actually. I probably should play some more War Thunder because we're streaming War Thunder and we're talking about, yeah. But yeah, night fighters, pretty cool planes. So even the Germans had them because I think the Germans also tried radar, and also that's when we found out about chaff. So we literally just dropped balls of foil out of the back of planes to confuse radar systems. We had like blacked out hurricanes and stuff. So cool. The Germans also made this thing called the Horton 229, which is like a flying wing. There was actually like when the person was making it, there was this company did not exist, Horton. I think they were put together with like another company, and the other company was like, this is what the B2 Spirit is based off of basically, and there was another design for it. This company that took control of the project from the Horton brothers was like, no, you're wrong, and then they stuck in redesigned it. I don't know if they have the picture of the redesign anywhere, but they tried to put a rudder on the back of it and some other stuff, and basically took everything unique about the design and decided to throw it out the window, basically. And it didn't work, so they went back to this, and this... Is this it? No, what the hell is that? I can... If I can ever find it, the thing I am looking for... Was it the V6? Or was it the V2? All I know is there was a redesigned version of this plane that apparently had like a rudder on the back of it, and it looked really fucking weird. So if like anybody can find that, was it Messerschmitt that was no, Dornier? I can't remember what company took it over, but like then the Horton brothers were just like, no, let us do our own thing. Is it the V1 version? Oh shit, it's the symbol again. But yeah, years and years later, this would lead to stuff like the F-117 and the B-2 Spirit. So yeah, pretty cool. But this wasn't a carpet bomber. This was a attack plane, a fighter. Sorry. I think there was a version that could bomb, but as far as I'm aware, I don't know. I have it in War Thunder though, so that's kind of cool. Shit, it's the symbol again. Maybe if I just keep scrolling through these images, we can probably find I think this was it. No. The Americans actually made one. This was it. This is the American version of it. It was it's not a Horton 229. It was English word, please. It was meant to be a bomber. Yeah, the YB-35. That was it. It was it was goofy. Yeah, I know about the symbol, yeah. I realised, oh well, guess we're banned, huzzah. But yeah, this thing was after I think that was it. No. This was somewhat of what I was thinking of when I was talking about it, the Horton 229 earlier. But like, it had rudders on it, but it was the German version. Then we came along. The same guy who designed this plane then designed the B-2 Spirit. Or at least it was the same company. And now we have this thing, the B-2 Spirit. Yay! So cool, right, guys? Love it. Love getting notifications on my phone. B2 Spirit, pretty cool, can't lie. Damn. And now the Americans have made another one. Yeah, it is a stealth bomber. It's like it actually has like a toilet and like a bedroom in there as well, because it was used to fly from America to a Middle Eastern country of some degree to do a bombing run, and it took over 12 hours to get there, and then 12 hours to get back. So 24 hours in the air. And now the Americans have done this, the B-21 Raider, which is like a smaller version of the B-2 Spirit. Like if we look side by side here and here, and it's gonna have like technology like AI and things like that, so it can actually be piloted on its own without a pilot, which is pretty cool. And it's gonna be like they're gonna put in like a computer network with like the F-35 and like other stuff in there, so they all operate as their own like network, which is another cool thing as well. But this, I believe, is only entering service now, if I remember correctly. Let's check on the internet. Oh, it's only one built. First flight, literally last year. Oh, 2027 it's going to enter service, okay. But yeah, the B-21 is a... The B-2 Spirit, sorry, is a freaking plane for stealth bombing, so yeah. You're not wrong there, Chief. Anyway, let's get back to some War Thunder. And then end stream. Because I'm feeling tired. I can actually go to sleep. I've been going to sleep at 4 AM for the last, like, couple of days. Maybe I can finally sleep. Damn. Ugh. Come on, load me in, Jesus Christ. There's the Swedish Premium Tiger. Anyways, the educational bit is now done, so... Huzzah. I would be if I was a history teacher, we would not get history stuff done. It would be literally just like me just talk about tanks for the entire history lesson. It'd be like, sir, what happened to Stalin? He fucking died. There you go. It's like he died in a puddle of his own piss. What do you care? Like, it's on the exam. How did Stalin die? He had a stroke. Anyways, back to the ways the KGB tortured innocent civilians. I would be a terrible teacher. Like, in terms of teaching, I will teach you about literally everything that isn't on the test. Oh, T-44. Goodbye, T-44. I've got two. Anyways, I've got too low grades anyway to even bother consider becoming a teacher. So. Oh, perfect cannon barrel. Oh shit. This is not good. Definitely not good. Oh, that's really not good. This is really, really, really not good. Was my teammate behind me watching me die? Oh, I had no teammate behind me. Wonderful. This is the This is what I call a bit overkill, this vehicle. This is a ME262, but in the front is a 50mm anti-tank. Yeah, basically, well, in War Thunder at least, you use it to spam. You just shoot the enemy with the MG to just like tag them on the map. Essentially, sometimes you can damage things like on that Centurion, the other night vision thing. So I knocked it off with that. But otherwise, in real life, the MGs are just designed for suppression of infantry or AA, because like the ones on the roof, like. But otherwise, like, in War Thunder, you can probably damage tracks and barrels, but that's really it. Yeah, that's not too much really. Tank destroyers don't actually have them. Like many tank destroyers don't have MG. Oh god, this is gonna put me on another rant again. Do you guys want to know what the difference is between a tank and a tank destroyer? This is a clippable moment, so just get ready. Right, people watching this on YouTube Shorts. 3, 2, 1. A tank destroyer has no machine gun coaxial to it. A tank has a coaxial machine gun. That is quite literally the only difference. Oh shit. That was quite, yeah, literally the only difference is no coaxial machine gun. That's it. It does not make any sense at all. Like, as soon, like if you take a Stug and you just put a coaxial machine gun, it suddenly becomes a tank. Like literally the STRV-103, the cheese wedge tank has a coaxial machine gun, so suddenly it's not a tank destroyer anymore, it's a tank. But a tank destroyer has no coaxial machine gun. But then the Jagd Panther has a coaxial machine gun right here, but it still counts as a tank destroyer. What the fuck? This thing, light tank. Look, this is a light tank, right? It's a very lightweight tank. Has coaxial machine gun here. The Tiger 2 heavy thing has coaxial machine gun right there. But the Jagd Tiger, which if you look at this, it'd be like, huh, yes, that's a tank. But no, if you look here or here, there's no coaxial machine gun. However, there's one right here. Does that mean it's a tank? Or is it a tank destroyer? I have no fucking clue. It's such a stupid argument. It's such a stupid way to classify werewolf. Like, you could... I don't... What like, the M10 tank destroyer as well. The M10 and the M18... Oh shit, no. I want customize. Like, look at this. In all words, it should be a tank. But no. It's got no coaxial machine gun, so it's a tank destroyer. The M18, wherever it is, wherever they moved the M18 to. Here we go. The M18. Oh, they've updated to 6. Oh, okay. The M18. Wait. Is that... Oh, that's the gun type. Sorry. It has no coaxial machine gun. It has a 50 cal up here. But it's a tank destroyer. Technically. Even though War Thunder says it's a light tank. It's a tank destroyer. What the fuck is this argument anymore? It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense anymore. Like, as soon as I found out what that meant, the difference between a tank destroyer and a tank, nothing made sense. Like, this is the Panzer 470. The machine gun is right here. But because it's not like in here, it's suddenly this tank is a tank destroyer and not a tank. Panther. Coaxial machine gun. Boom. Suddenly a tank. I could take the coaxial machine gun away and weld this shut, and the next day it's now a tank destroyer. What the hell? God damn. Anyways, that's gonna end the stream. I'm done ranting on about tank destroyers. I need to go to sleep. I need to watch Shika Knock on Knock on Knock Across Downtown. Anyways, I already watched it yesterday, but thank you for watching and goodbye.